I'm Kevin Coleman with the Saddle Post, and I am speaking with the veterinarian who would like to move into North Walnut Street, right around the corner here from West 2nd. Can you introduce yourself and tell you your position on this?
My name is Natalie Baldwin. I've been a veterinarian since 2011. I've lived in Chillicothe since about 2012. When I went into veterinary medicine, one of the things that I really found appealing about it was being able to take on call, be responsible for my patients, kind of in that James Harriet sort of way. And I loved the idea of having a small practice in a small town where I'd be in the downtown area and kind of be part of that integral kind of life that is inherent with a downtown area. So I've been actually looking for about 6 years. My parents are getting older and older and older, so I've been taking care of them mostly these days, but I've been looking in the area for something that would meet that kind of requirement. And I'm very picky myself, so I wanted to make sure it was something that had good parking so I could accommodate everybody just fine. That would allow me to keep things clean and smell free and quiet. So those are things that actually bothered me as well. And so in my particular part of the downtown area, which is more on Paint Street, I've not really found a place like that because there are a lot of these old beautiful buildings that I do not want to destroy for a practice. And when I ran across the location of 36 North Walnut, I actually thought I found my dream home away from home because it was designed as a medical facility in the 50s that was supposed to sustain basically a nuclear war. So it's very handy apparently because it's got really thick walls. It allows me to keep all that noise inside.
So that is the one-story building, not the 2.5-story house?
Correct. Okay. The 2.5-story house is a dentist office right now. It's Dr. Schwalbach. She's lovely. I introduced myself to her right away at the very beginning because I knew if anybody had to deal with what little bit of nightmare there was, it would be her. And she welcomed me with open arms and warned me that some of her people might steal my parking spaces and I might have to steal some of hers. So
the one-story place you're looking at has the parking lot that's in the back off the alley.
Correct. It actually has 10 spaces all to itself, one handicap space, one next to the handicap space right next to the building, and then 8 in the back, and then also a space between that and the dumpster, which I'm not counting as a space. So my goal is to actually walk there or take my bicycle, so I will not be occupying one of those spaces.
You live in town?
I do. I live in downtown.
Great. So there was some pushback on that. Can you describe that and your response?
I think that it sounds like there's the dentist office and the dental surgery office both are and or were very high volume practices. Having gone to that dentist myself, I know that I've parked in the wrong spaces when I've gone there because I parked in his lot the first 2 times I was there. Not realizing it was actually his lot. So now I do better and I park in one of her lots. She's got the other spaces behind her building plus an entire side lot. So I know now, and I also parked on the street once not knowing, so that might have been potentially upsetting. So I can understand where they would be concerned about parking. And in a downtown situation, that's always a concern and is in fact one of the reasons why I've been waiting so long to make sure I found a place that had such a space. The city of Chillicothe requires 3 spaces for a veterinarian, and I was not okay with that being a minimum because that doesn't really work for most people. Yeah. Like there's just that does not accommodate.
Is it just you, or would you have techs working with you?
I would, and Martha was kind enough to bring up that AAA actually rents out spaces, and typically in vet med, our employees are always second and third priorities, so they usually are the ones that get stuck in these alternate lots. My original thought before she even brought him up was park them in my driveway and then have them towed over or walk over from my house. So that's even nicer being just a catty corner from the building. So that's a good thing. And I think the other issue was that I was attracted to the idea that the people around here with their own pets could walk to the vet hospital rather than drive, which I thought was a good thing, but I think that kind of got misconstrued by some people that have yards and who may not appreciate having dogs walking by their yards. So I think that ended up being taken personally, and for that I do apologize. I certainly wasn't intending to make that an upsetting thing, because I do know, having one of those yards along a popular walk path, that sometimes you get a lot of gifts that you do not control. And I'm not sure how to encourage people to have better manners, but certainly around our hospital, we will have like a little poop bag thing right by the front door and right by the back door. So,
like what you find at parks.
Yes, that at least our patients can be responsible. But obviously, if it's somebody who's already in the neighborhood walking by the yard, I'm not sure I have a lot of control over that. But
do you already have a practice?
I do not, actually. I came out here for work initially after school, and then I got another job out here.
All right, technical glitch. I'd asked you if you already had a practice, and you said you didn't.
I do not. I've actually been taking care of my parents, which are who are both seniors. My mom's not doing particularly well, and my father has significant cognitive dysfunction, so they do take a lot of care, which basically means that I've been doing a lot of relief work for the time being. So it's nice to have this opportunity to pop up. It gives me a little, I can kind of ease into it slowly if God willing. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay. So perhaps some of the concerns are not accurate about...
I think it's just a misunderstanding. I think we have different ideas of what a vet practice is, and I'm always open to fielding questions about people's concerns. Marcia was mentioning green space, for example, as was Chase Rutherford. That's more of a doggy daycare boarding facility type of thing. I'm literally a doctor's office, and I just cater to creatures with 4 legs. So we don't really necessarily walk dogs for the sake of walking dogs. I mean, typically most of these pets that come in are too anxious to go to the bathroom when they get out of the car. So the first thing they do is walk into my lobby and go to the bathroom. And frankly, the only ones that ever actually go to the bathroom outside are the ones I need samples from. So for those guys, I was actually thinking about putting some gravel along the back of the parking lot for them to use, which it helps me mitigate disease, control parasites. It's easy to pick up with gravel. If you put grass in, there's going to be a lot of leg lifting. Grass suddenly becomes straw because it's not green anymore. That just doesn't look good for the neighborhood. So, and that's the other thing that building has, is that whole front area is pretty much gravel, which is very dog friendly. So. Okay.
Well, I missed a lot of the discussion at the Planning Commission, but they said that they would come back with a decision in 30 days.
30 days, yep. So basically what the city will do is they check and make sure that the engineering department's okay with that being there, like it's not going to hurt the city. If that's okay, we go to the Planning Commission, and then they say, there's a panel of 5 people, whether they agree or disagree with the change for it to be zoned. If they come back in 30 days, mid-December, and say it's okay, we then go to council, and council decides whether or not it's okay. So it's going to be another 30 to 60 days after that.
Okay, I've seen that process. I've heard that the zoning does not allow a veterinary practice.
In this particular area here around 2nd Street and Walnut Street, which I understand was very residential in the 60s and has since developed more businesses.
Especially Walnut.
Yes, especially Walnut. It specifically said we want businesses, we want doctor's offices, we do not want drive-thrus, and we do not want veterinary offices. So
has the field changed in that time, the veterinarian field?
I don't think the field has necessarily changed since the 60s, but I can certainly understand where a 90% residential area, for example, wouldn't want a whole bunch of businesses moving in, because that means that now their houses are being taken over and turning into businesses. And I think over time, I mean, it's been 60 plus years that we've we've made it more business oriented. We've certainly kept these nice neighborhoods the way that they are, and it's a lot of green, a lot of trees. It's really beautiful, but that whole strip on Walnut at this point is pretty much solid businesses. So it's very awesome that you can actually go to your dentist, pick one, there's 2 of them there. You can go to your doctor's office. My doctor's office is on there. I got my acupuncturist on Water Street. Like everything is here, and I love that whole kind of downtown thing. The only thing we don't have is me. So I think we could really benefit from a veterinarian being here.
Okay, and you're circulating a petition?
We are circulating a petition. We'd just like to know if there are other people that favor it, and honestly, it's an opportunity to open that conversation. Like, you may have an impression about what a veterinary practice means to you that is not part of what I feel it means to me. So maybe if there's a concern, you know, we can have that conversation and open up that field and figure out, you know, what those concerns are.
Okay, how can people contribute to the petition?
Well, right now it looks like Marcia Wagner is fielding it for the 2nd Street. I hadn't really actually thought about it before we walked into this door, so. Well,
I caught you by surprise, yeah. So that's only fair.
Yeah, so my father-in-law actually started one with his friends. He's a retired state trooper who's actually moved here from Cincinnati, loves it. They were a little nervous at first, but he's made a bunch of friends. So they're all very excited about it. He's actually been sending his friends to me, trying to get their animals taken care of, so.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.